Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Today is explanation of Martial Universe episode number 24 based on novel. So let's start. Although they were all from the Great Yang Empire, and Lin Dong and Lin Langtian were both considered as companions, their hearts were not undoubtedly leaning towards Lin Dong. Hence, it was impossible for them to speak up or stop Lin Dong. Because, between Lin Dong and Lin Langtian, they had already chosen the former. In response to his now empty surroundings atop the city wall, the corners of Lin Langtian's eyes involuntarily twitched for a moment. Soon after, his cold eyes stared at Lin Dong as he ominously said, "The current you is likely already at your limit. Kill me. You must be dreaming." Upon hearing this, a sneer flitted across Lin Dong's eyes as he replied, "If you want to wait till I've spent all my energy, I'm afraid it's going to be very difficult." As his voice faded, with a thought from Lin Dong, tyrannical devouring power burst out of his body. The surrounding Yuan power immediately surged and rushed over, endlessly tunneling into Lin Dong's body. When the Yuan power entered Lin Dong's body, they were instantly devoured and refined, transforming into vigorous Yuan power that flowed in his limbs and bones. Immediately, the Yuan power that he had consumed in the previous great battle started to recover at a rapid rate. With the devouring ancestral symbol, as long as Lin Dong had enough mental fortitude, he was practically a battle machine that did not know the meaning of rest. Waiting for his Yuan power to be depleted due to battle was not going to be that easy. Waves of Yuan power endlessly poured into Lin Dong's body, while his aura once again climbed under numerous astonished gazes. Although he would not reach his peak for a time, he had already recovered to a normal state. Such frightening recovery power. Upon seeing this scene, several people were secretly shocked in their hearts. That terrifying recovery rate combined with that overwhelming battle power. No wonder the mere advanced manifestation stage Lin Dong had the power to kill a peak manifestation practitioner. Atop the city wall, Lin Langtian also felt Lin Dong's aura rapidly recover, and his face immediately turned exceedingly grim. His plan had failed once again. As he eyed the attacking Lin Dong, Lin Langtian gritted his teeth and urged out all the Yuan power in his body. His figure charged forward and directly clashed against Lin Dong. Fist and palm met, transforming into after images as muffled thuds erupted in the sky. The two figures in mid-air had already fought over a dozen rounds in the time it took for a spark to fade from a flint as waves of berserk Yuan power shockwaves swept outwards. Every gaze was locked onto the air. The fight between the two did not show any signs of a deadlock. Under Lin Dong's torrential attacks, even though Lin Langtian tried his best to contend, he was still beaten back bit by bit, completely suppressed by Lin Dong. The others did not find this unexpected at all. Previously, Lin Dong had taken on 8 Saint Light Empire practitioners by himself, and even killed all of them in the end. Such an achievement was enough to be called terrifying. Lin Langtian was only at the advanced manifestation stage. How could he possibly be Lin Dong's match in a head-on battle? Bang! In mid-air, Lin Dong's fists were heavy as a mountain as they smashed into Lin Langtian's crossed arms. A ferocious force exploded, directly blowing Lin Langtian 100 meters back with a single punch, before he stumbled a little and stabilized his sorry figure. "I was able to force you to such a state when I was at the half-step to manifestation stage. Now that I have reached the advanced manifestation stage, the same cultivation level as yourself, you still futilely try to fight me." After blowing away Lin Langtian with a single punch, Lin Dong could not help but sneer. After experiencing numerous bitter trainings, Lin Dong's current strength on the surface was already not weaker than Lin Langtian. Moreover, his battle power far surpassed the latter. Hence, the latter wanting to contend against him was undoubtedly a pipe dream. Summon the Yuan spirit in your body, or else, tonight will likely be your funeral. As his icy shout faded, Lin Dong lifted his palm and a black light shot out. It grew against the wind, transforming into a humongous mountain peak that floated in the sky above Lin Langtian. Once the heavy prison peak appeared, a circle of black light shot downwards and enveloped Lin Langtian. Under the black light, Lin Langtian immediately felt his body sink as if he was in a swamp, while his originally nimble body also started to slow down. When Lin Langtian's figure became slower, Lin Dong waved his hand once again. A black hole made from devouring power whizzed out and appeared below Lin Langtian, as a strong devouring force erupted. When the devouring force erupted, Lin Langtian suddenly discovered that his body had started to sink downwards. No matter how he urged his Yuan power to struggle, it was useless. The heavy prison peak in the sky and the black hole below perfectly formed a strange prison. Within this prison, the gravity and gushing devouring force practically caused Lin Langtian's battle power to drop to zero. As Lin Langtian's roar echoed out, a dark grey light suddenly burst out from Lin Langtian's body. The dark grey light gathered on the surface of Lin Langtian's body, faintly forming into a blurry figure. When the blurry figure appeared, it lifted its hand as a powerful grey flash shot out from its fingertips, ripping apart the prison before heavily smashing against the heavenly crocodile bone spear, causing it to be deflected backwards, finally come out. As he gazed at the blurry figure enveloping Lin Langtian, Lin Dong's eyes turned cold. Master Mu, kill him. Lin Langtian furiously howled. He had fallen to such a sorry state in Lin Dong's hands, something that was too humiliating for him. One should know that Lin Dong had once been an ant in Lin Langtian's eyes. At that time, he did not even care for killing Lin Dong, because he believed that Lin Dong did not even deserve such a right. Of course, this thought had now changed, transforming into endless regret. Lin Langtian had gnashed his teeth and thought many times, if he could return to that time, he would smash Lin Dong to death with a single slap in the old tomb. However, although he regretted, there was no medicine for regret in this world. The ant in his eyes had now become an existence that had control over his life or death. The current him needed to look up to this thing which had once been an ant. You are now no longer his match, leave. However, in response to Lin Langtian's howl, the blurry figure took a deep look at Lin Dong and declared in a low voice, before grabbing Lin Langtian, forcibly breaking the gravity prison, as their figures swiftly retreated. This Master Mu had a fairly good grasp of the situation. Within Lin Dong's body was an existence that was not weaker than himself. Even if he went all out, it was not possible for him to kill Lin Dong. Since that was so, why waste any energy? When he heard Master Mu's words, Lin Langtian's body started to tremble. He was truly unable to believe that the day would come where he would be forced to such a sorry state by Lin Dong. Plan on leaving. Do you think it will be so easy? Upon seeing that Master Mu wanted to leave, Lin Dong's eyes darkened. His finger thrust out in the air as a giant finger made from Yuan power once again appeared and viciously shot towards Lin Langtian. However, just as the giant finger was about to hit Lin Langtian, the blurry figure squirmed in a strange manner before appearing in the air several feet away, as if it had teleported, avoiding the giant finger attack in the process. Lin Dong, you are indeed very surprising. However, you cannot hold me here. Even the existence in your body does not have the capability. When we next meet, it will perhaps be your doom. You'd better cherish the time you have now, ha ha. The blurry figure flashed and disappeared into the night sky at an alarming speed, while its loud laughter resounded in the air. Under the darkness of the night, the outside of the city finally gradually turned silent, yet, the beast corpses and ravines that covered the ground reminded everyone about the desperate battle that had erupted in this place. Lin Dong's figure slowly descended from mid-air. Although he had gone through a great battle, a bright light still flickered in his eyes, showing that he was not the slightest bit tired. This scene caused the Mo Ling trio to be somewhat fearful. Such strong battle endurance, even a peak manifestation stage practitioner could not compare. Brother Lin Dong, what was it that saved Lin Langtian just now? Mo Long opened his mouth to ask. He had previously clearly seen Lin Langtian being thoroughly suppressed by Lin Dong, yet, a blurry figure had appeared at the final moment, dispersing Lin Dong's attack and rescuing Lin Langtian. Lin Langtian also has some trump cards. Killing him is not easy, but when we next meet, even that thing will be unable to save him. Lin Dong replied in a cold voice. Mo Ling silently nodded his head. Soon after, he cast a glance at the spot where Li Xing and the other 7 had been turned to a bloody mist before speaking in a low voice. Brother Lin Dong, before Li Xing and the rest died, they mentioned a senior in this ancient battlefield. Since that person was able to be so respected by them, he should be even stronger than Li Xing. Perhaps, he might have already reached the half-step to Nirvana stage. If he finds out that the Saint Light Empire members have all died at your hands, he will not let this matter go. Lin Dong nodded his head. He similarly did not expect that Li Xing was actually not the strongest member of the Saint Light Empire. Yet, no matter what, he could not be merciful in that kind of scenario. Given Li Xing and the rest's characters, if Lin Dong allowed them to survive, there was no doubt that they would incessantly find trouble for Lin Dong. Since that is so, let us first ask around about the senior from the Saint Light Empire. Now that you have defeated the Saint Light Empire members, there should be no one who dares to raise any objections towards you in this gathering point. This way, It will be a lot easier for us to get information. As for the follow-up, we can discuss it after we have gathered enough information. How does that sound? Mo Ling muttered. When the practitioners from the various empires atop the city walls heard these words, they were first stunned, before an emotional look was revealed in their eyes. Most of them were from some of the smaller empires, of which some were even weaker than the Great Yang Empire. They did not dare to casually leave the gathering point, because given their strength, if they met a group of demonic beasts at night, it would most likely be disastrous. Hence, they could only stay in this place. Previously, they had to pay Nirvana pill taxes every day to Li Xing and the rest. For these people who originally were unable to refine much Nirvana pills, this was a huge burden. However, due to their fear of Li Xing and the rest's strength, they did not dare to rebel. Now that Lin Dong had removed the taxes, it was undoubtedly an extremely happy occasion for them. Atop the city walls, joyful whispers spread out. The gazes that originally looked towards Lin Dong with fear faintly started to change to a kind of respect, no longer just pure fear of Lin Dong's strength. At times, power was unable to truly subdue the hearts of the people. However, Lin Dong did not care about the minute changes in their eyes. After he said his piece, he waved his sleeve as Little Flame jumped in. His figure moved, directly heading towards the center stone tower that was originally Li Xing's cultivation spot. However, now that Li Xing had lost his life at Lin Dong's hands, this central cultivation spot naturally belonged to Lin Dong. With respect to Lin Dong's actions, there was indeed no one who objected. This was normal after all. Lin Dong's figure landed on the stone tower before he slowly sat down. Here, he could look down upon any place in the city, which indeed gave him a feeling of being in control. However, this feeling only lasted for a moment before being scattered by Lin Dong. He took in a deep breath, as the bright light in his eyes slowly vanished. The great battle tonight was rather intense, and he had never imagined that the fifth finger of the great desolate imprisoning heavenly finger would actually be so powerful. A mere half a finger could easily defeat the combined might of 7 advanced manifestation stage and 1 peak manifestation stage practitioner. Furthermore, Lin Dong also clearly understood that this was not the great desolate imprisoning heavenly finger's strongest move. If he was able to display the complete finger, Lin Dong believed that he would possess the power to battle even against a half-step to Nirvana stage practitioner. Just half a finger has caused your fingertip to split open. If you force it, you will definitely be devoured by that berserk power. At that time, there will be no need for others to beat you, as you will have already self-destructed. Just as this thought flashed across Lin Dong's head, little Martin's voice rang out in his mind. Lin Dong chuckled and did not deny it. Changing the topic, he said, "It's a pity that we did not take care Lin Langtian. We can't do anything about it. That fellow still has the protection of the Yuan spirit in his body. Although he cannot deal with us, if he is determined to take Lin Langtian and escape, no one can stop him." Little Martin flashed out from Lin Dong's shoulder as it replied. Lin Dong nodded his head. No matter what, he had at least chased away that irksome character. When they next met, given Lin Dong's strength, he would no longer have to fear the mysterious Yuan spirit. If there was a chance, he would directly take care of both Lin Langtian and the mysterious Yuan spirit. As he held the Qianquan bag, Lin Dong's mental energy swiftly entered. Soon after, a smile finally surfaced on his face. Sure enough, Li Xing's collection far exceeded the rest. Just the number of Nirvana pills alone in his bag was close to 6,000. This was a truly huge sum. If Lin Dong had to obtain such a sum through refining, it would take at minimum several months. Adding in these 6,000 pills, I now have 10,000 Nirvana pills. It's a pity that I still lack 20,000 to purify the blood soul puppet. When his thoughts reached this point, Lin Dong could not help but release a bitter laugh before softly sighing. No matter what, he needed to think of some way to swiftly obtain the remaining 20,000 Nirvana pills. Since he had killed the Saint Light Empire members, no one could foresee when their senior would arrive for his blood. If he was able to purify the blood soul puppet and obtain complete control over it, he would no longer fear even a half-step to Nirvana practitioner. After keeping the 6,000 Nirvana pills, Lin Dong flicked his wrist as a drum wrapped in light appeared in his hand that continuously emitted waves of powerful energy. This light drum was the earthly soul treasure that Li Xing had previously revealed, the Saint Light Drum. Lin Dong toyed with the Saint Light Drum as he gently nodded his head. The energy undulations from this object indicated that it was indeed not bad at all. Li Xing's collection was truly quite something. I'll keep it. Lin Dong naturally had no reason to give up on this kind of treasure, and he accepted it without any hesitation. His mental energy once again reached into the Qianquan bag, and after a long while, another object appeared in his hand. This object was a white elephant statue that was made from jade. Lin Dong stared at the white elephant. There seemed to be a good deal of rising script within the white elephant, which faintly gathered to form various profound symbols. Lin Dong's gaze was tightly fixed onto the rising script. Moments later, a warm feeling slowly rose up in his eyes as a soft voice sounded out from his mouth. Mid-level manifestation martial art. Saint Elephant Sky Crumbling Tackle. From its might, the Saint Elephant Sky Crumbling Tackle was truly worthy of being a mid-grade manifestation martial art. Even the Lin clan did not possess such level of martial art. Amongst Lin Langtian's martial arts, only the Hand of the Universal Emperor, which he obtained at the Manifestation Martial Tablet, could be compared to the Saint Elephant Sky Crumbling Tackle. Even though Lin Dong already possessed a powerful high-grade manifestation martial art like the Great Desolate Imprisoning Heavenly Finger, he did not mind having another martial art. After all, no one would mind having more martial arts in their arsenal. That was because all powerful martial arts were able to increase one's fighting strength. Martial arts played an indispensable role in Lin Dong's ability to contend with Li Xing, a peak manifestation stage elite, with his advanced manifestation stage powers. Therefore, when Lin Dong saw the training manual for Saint Elephant Sky Crumbling Tackle in Li Xing's Qingquan bag, his eyes blazed with fervor despite his rigid self-discipline. Hey, this thing is pretty good, little Martin laughed when he saw the white elephant, which was carved out of white jade. Apparently, he also noticed the might of this martial art when Li Xing executed it previously. Lin Dong smiled gently as he used his hand to rub against the palm-sized white elephant jade, which possessed an extremely exquisite craftsmanship. Under the light, the elephant jade looked sparkling and translucent. Mysterious characters were hovering above it, giving one an odd feeling about it. It seems that I have picked up a powerful martial art by luck. Upon seeing this, a chilly look swept across Lin Dong's eyes. Apparently, the master of the mental energy brand was quite powerful, given that he was able to manipulate the white elephant jade from such a long distance away. Even though the obstinance of the mental energy brand did surprise Lin Dong, his devouring power continued to erode the white elephant jade. Eventually, the shuddering white elephant jade started to stabilize, and the mental energy brand began to weaken under the constant erosion as well. I will see how long more can you endure. Lin Dong chuckled. With a jolt of his mind, the devouring power increased abruptly. After a while, a fine snapping sound could be heard within the white elephant jade. It was as if something had broken. As the snapping sound was made, the resistance by the white elephant jade seemed to disappear in an instant. It's likely that the white elephant jade's mental energy brand belongs to the Saint Light Empire's Big Senior, little Martin suddenly said after it saw Lin Dong got rid of the mental energy seal. Lin Dong nodded his head. The ancient battlefield was an isolated piece of land and therefore, the distance between the Saint Light Empire and this place was incredibly long. Apparently, even the Nirvana stage elites could not manipulate the white jade elephant from such a distance away. Furthermore, Lin Dong believed that, even if the Saint Light Empire was quite powerful, they could not have possessed an elite who surpassed the Nirvana stage. Thus, the master of the mental energy seal should be in the ancient battlefield as well. Hence, after confirming these facts with what Li Xing and his counterparts had said, the answer was self-evident: this person is quite capable, given that he is able to set up such an unyielding mental energy seal in the white elephant jade. Lin Dong's eyes flickered. It appeared that the Big Senior of the Saint Light Empire was a formidable opponent. In the ancient battlefield, Lin Dong could operate with any restraints. He was also not afraid of Saint Light Empire's revenge against him. In this place, the elites had no way of getting in here. Perhaps in the far future, Lin Dong would not even care about the Saint Light Empire anymore. After the mental energy brand in the white elephant jade had been gotten rid of, Lin Dong did not try to practice the Saint Elephant Sky Crumbling Tackle immediately. Instead, he continued to dig inside Li Xing's Qingquan bag. However, he did not manage to find any treasures that captivated him. Most of the items were demonic crystals, elixir pills and high-grade soul treasures that contained a low amount of nirvana chi. After a hasty rummage, Lin Dong lost interest and dumped everything into his own Qingquan bag. Then, he closed his eyes and started resting to nurse his post-battle's health. After approximately 2 hours of rest, his eyes opened up slowly. This tower was no doubt the best training place in the city. Therefore, Lin Dong was able to restore his health within a short period of time. After he recovered, Lin Dong flipped his palm and the exquisite white elephant jade appeared in his hand. With a flick of his mind, he channeled his mental energy into the jade. This time around, his mental energy did not face any resistance and flowed smoothly into the white elephant jade. While Lin Dong's mental energy was flowing into the jade, a huge amount of mysterious characters were pouring steadily into Lin Dong's mind. Indistinctly, the roar of a gigantic elephant echoed through Lin Dong's brain. A huge lustrous elephant stood on the sky and went on a rampage. The heaven and earth trembled while the mountains collapsed. It was an earth-shaking display of power. Lin Dong sat quietly on the tower with both his eyes shut tightly. As he held the white elephant jade in his hand, waves of radiance began to spread and eventually enshrouded his entire body. As the radiance enveloped Lin Dong, his aura became increasingly calm and powerful at the same time. Meanwhile, as Lin Dong was just about to master the Saint Elephant Sky Crumbling Tackle, there was a white-robed, callous-looking man standing on a lofty tower in a distant major city of an assembly point. He then slowly opened his eyes. In his eyes, There was a surge of killer intent that was so cold that it could freeze the air. Action, no matter who you are, you will pay the price for killing the members of the Saint Light Empire. After I complete my current objective, your demise shall arrive. Warm sunlight shone on the top of that high tower, while Lin Dong, who had his eyes tightly shut, finally slowly opened his eyes. Meanwhile, the white jade elephant glow within his palm had dimmed significantly. After opening his eyes, Lin Dong stood up. Promptly, he took a step forward. As he stepped forth, formidable Yuan power instantly gushed out from within his body. Just as Yuan power gushed out from his body, all the surrounding Yuan power quickly gathered together. Within a few breaths, a large glowing elephant shadow enveloped Lin Dong's body. Though that large glowing elephant still seemed slightly illusionary, it gave off an powerful earth-shattering aura. The instant that giant elephant appeared, it roared at the heavens, before a peculiar buzzing noise swept forth, and caused all the Yuan power above the city to begin to rage. Due to the existence of the stone tablet's spiritual domain, it was not difficult for Lin Dong to master martial arts. Therefore, even though he merely trained for one night, Lin Dong had already gained a decent understanding of this Saint Elephant Sky Crumbling Tackle. Even though he had not completely mastered it, he already possessed decent fighting abilities. On top of the high tower, when Lin Dong sensed the powerful strength of the Saint Elephant Sky Crumbling Tackle, a tinge of delight gushed into his face. Promptly, with a flick of his mind, that giant elephant shadow gradually disappeared. Ha ha, congratulations, brother Lin Dong. You have gained another powerful martial arts. Just as that giant elephant disappeared, a splitting wind noise echoed out, before Mo Ling and the rest leapt onto the high tower and congratulated Lin Dong with a smile. When he saw Mo Ling and the rest, Lin Dong smiled. After what happened last night, their attitude towards him had obviously changed. Brother Lin Dong, with regards to information regarding the Sacred Light Empire's big senior, we have already obtained some information. Oh? When he heard how Mo Ling and the rest managed to obtain the information so efficiently, Lin Dong was slightly taken aback. Ha ha. It is thanks to the fact that Brother Lin Dong had already established his dominance in this area. Therefore, it is quite easy for us to obtain information. Previously, those who sided with the Sacred Light Empire member obtained quite a bit of information from them and they have passed it all to us. Mo Ling smiled as he said. Lin Dong smiled and invited the three of them to sit down. Then, he turned to look at Mo Ling evidently, he was very curious to find out about that big senior, that they had been muttered about last night. Based on the information that we obtained, out of all the Sacred Light Empire members that are participating in the 100 Empire War, 20 of them have reached advanced manifestation stage. 20 of them. Lin Dong's pupils gently shrunk. That was to say even after 8 of them died at his hands, there were still 11 manifestation practitioners. The final one was naturally the big senior they were referring to. Mo Ling waved his hands as he said, generally speaking, the ones who enter the ancient battlefield will typically head for those large gathering points. That was because those spots were the safest places to be. In contrast, small gathering spots like here are easily overrun by waves of demon. Of course, Yang City is the best gathering point within a several thousand miles radius. There are countless elite practitioners there and the Nirvana Chi in that domain is several times more potent compared to here. It will not be difficult for us to obtain good resources. He, Brother Lin Dong, you do not have to worry about Jin Mu. Based on our intel, that fellow does not have time to cause trouble for us. Du Yun smiled as he said, why is that? Lin Dong was slightly taken aback as he asked in shock. He had killed the Sacred Light Empire members, and he had even erased the White Elephant Jade mental energy seal that Jin Mu had left inside. Therefore, that fellow should be itching to kill him. This is intel that we obtained from a practitioner that was closest to the Sacred Light Empire members. Right now, there are several troops from different empires gathered in that area, and it seems like they are contesting for an item called the Mysterious Ancient Key. Therefore, Jin Mu should be eyeing that object as well and he would likely not make a move on you before he obtains that Mysterious Ancient Key. Mo Ling smiled as he added on. Action, Mysterious Ancient Key. What is that? When he heard that foreign term, Lin Dong was stunned as he asked in shock. It is reputed to be a mysterious and ancient key. You should also know, even though you can refine Nirvana pills from the ancient battlefield, based on usual methods alone, not to mention 1 year, even given several years, you would not be able to refine sufficient Nirvana pills to attack Nirvana stage. Therefore, many of them turned their attention to the treasure troves in the ancient battlefield. As long as you can obtain a treasure trove, the Nirvana pills contained within is definitely sufficient. If one is lucky enough to obtain some legacy passed down by an ancient sect, you can even ascend and stand out during that huge battle 1 year later. Lin Dong gently nodded his head. Using usual methods alone, most people would be unable to refine more than 10,000 Nirvana pills in 1 year. This was evidently insufficient for one to attack Nirvana stage. Therefore, most of them planned to search for a treasure trove. Of course, some of the extreme ones had even more vicious and cruel methods, that was robbery. Of course, in order to do so, one must possess sufficient strength. Else, one may fail to rob others, but be robbed by them instead. I am not aware of what are in those ancient treasure troves. However, based on the information that we obtained, it seems like Jin Mu was eyeing something within. Mo Ling said, "What is it?" "It is something called samsara pills." Then, Man Shan scratched his head as he asked uncertainly, "Samsara pills?" Lin Dong was stunned. Evidently, this was the first time he heard of such a pill. However, just as he was about to casually nod his head, a growl suddenly sounded out inside his heart. Samsara pills. This is a pill that was gathered by a super elite practitioner that had finally understood that principle of samsara. One pill is equal to one life, and it is enough to help you to reverse a death trap. If I could obtain that pill, I can form a new physical body and stop being a demonic spirit and return to my peak form. Lin Dong, you must help me, you must help me. Help me obtain that samsara pill. As long as I can obtain it, I will have a chance to be reborn. That loud growl in his heart caused Lin Dong to nearly faint. He knew that it was little Martin's voice. Furthermore, what caused him to be so stunned was this was the first time since he knew the latter, that he had saw the latter so agitated and act out of character. Evidently, that so-called samsara pill is extremely important to him. Don't rush, take it slowly. I will do everything I can to help you. Moments later, Lin Dong recovered his senses as he laughed bitterly in his heart. Even though he did not know about anything about those ancient treasure troves, he still agreed to its request. However, these were no perfunctory words, rather it was a sincere promise. All these years, Lin Dong had treated little Martin as an indispensable good friend. Without little Martin, he would not be at where he was today. Little Martin had helped him out a great deal, and now that he needed his assistance, Lin Dong was naturally not going to reject it. Go damn it, you are indeed a loyal kid. Grandpa Martin was not wrong about you. Lin Dong's words evidently caused a slimy old fellow like little Martin to be slightly touched. As it chided casually, there was a tinge of contentment in its words. Lin Dong gently heaved a sigh of relief, while he gently fiddled with his fingers. Originally, he was still gently relieved when he heard that Jin Mu could not spare the time. However, he never expected such an unexpected development. Evidently, that mysterious ancient key was the key to unlocking an ancient treasure trove. If he wanted to obtain the samsara pill within, he must first obtain the key. That was to say, instead of running away from Jin Mu, he must seize the initiative and head to Yang City and fight for that mysterious ancient key. When he thought of this point, Lin Dong's expression involuntarily turned peculiar. Moments later, he finally gently heaved a sigh of relief. It seems like trouble is coming and there is no way for him to avoid it. Are you going to Yang City? Upon hearing Lin Dong's words, Mo Ling and the rest were stunned. Lin Dong should be hiding for his life after he had killed the members of the Saint Light Empire. Now, instead of hiding, he wanted to take the initiative to go to Yang City. Isn't he courting his own death? Yeah, Lin Dong nodded his head. Initially, he planned to observe the situation silently. However, with the report on the mysterious ancient key, Lin Dong's thoughts started to run wild. In the ancient treasure trove, not only would there be samsara pills, but there would also be a huge amount of nirvana pills and other artifacts. If he could obtain these treasures, he might be qualified to break through to nirvana stage. As for Jin Mu, even though he was somewhat troublesome, Lin Dong did not have much worries about him. If the former really pissed him off badly, he would summon the Blood Soul Puppet to kill him. With the help of the Blood Soul Puppet, even a half-step to nirvana stage elite could not threaten Lin Dong. All of you should know that we only have a year's time to train. If we are to stay here peacefully, I'm afraid we will not be qualified to participate in the main event when the time is up. Therefore, we must take the initiative, and this ancient treasure trove is a good opportunity for us to start with. Lin Dong looked at Mo Ling and the rest and explained, as long as we can obtain a share of the ancient treasure trove, we will be able to break through to nirvana stage. Hearing what was said, Mo Ling and the rest nodded their heads slightly. Naturally, they knew about this fact as well. However, the Yang City is different from here. The number of elites in that place were like the clouds in the sky, which was copious. Even the half-step to nirvana stage elites were plentiful in that place. It is not an easy task for them to snatch the mysterious ancient key from the hands of those powerful elites. Furthermore, Lin Dong had killed the members of the Saint Light Empire, and if they were discovered in the Yang City, they would be killed mercilessly. What if we are discovered by the Saint Light Empire's men? Duyun muttered to himself irresolutely. The Saint Light Empire is not as scary as you imagine them to be. Even if it is Jin Mu, I have no fear whatsoever. If he tries to find trouble with me, I don't mind letting him follow the footsteps of Li Xing. Lin Dong smiled indifferently. Upon hearing these words, Mo Ling and rest's minds shivered. They could sense something else in his words. It appeared that Lin Dong might have a trump card to deal with half-step to Nirvana stage practitioners. They did not doubt the truthfulness of Lin Dong's words. After all, they had some understanding of the latter. If Lin Dong did not have a trump card, he would not plan on doing such a risky business. So what's your decisions? If all of you really don't want to follow me, I won't force you either. Lin Dong looked at Mo Ling and the rest and said. The three of them were quite capable, and would be a great help to him if they chose to follow him. After taking a glance at each other, Mo Ling, Duyun and Man Shan nodded their heads in agreement. Brother Lin Dong, we will follow you. Only by taking risks can we obtain wealth and riches. We can only break through the Nirvana stage after we have obtained the hidden treasures in the ancient treasure trove. Otherwise, we will lose out to other participants sooner or later, and by then, it will be hard for us to get chosen by those super sects. Mo Ling said deeply, "Ha ha, Brother Lin Dong, if you have any errands to run in the future, feel free to dispatch us. The three of us are willing to make you our leader." Man Shan yelled vigorously. Lin Dong spread out his hands and continued practicing his Saint Elephant Sky crumbling tackle. Little Martin suddenly waved its claw and said, "Your current capabilities are sufficient for you to defeat peak manifestation stage elites. However, if you are to encounter the Nirvana stage elites, I'm afraid that you will have to execute the fifth finger of the Great Desolate Imprisoning Heavenly Finger to contend against them. The fifth finger is far too powerful. My body can't take that kind of frenzied Yuan power," Lin Dong muttered. "That's true. Even though the Great Sun Thunder body is strong, it is not a manifestation-level martial art after all. You need a stronger physical enhancing martial art before you can withstand the violent Yuan power of the Great Desolate Imprisoning Heavenly Finger's fifth finger." Little Martin nodded and said. Upon hearing these words, Lin Dong shook his head helplessly. Physical enhancing martial arts were extremely difficult to find, let alone a manifestation level 1. Hey, how can Grandpa Martin bear to ill-treat a loyal kid like you? I still need you to obtain the samsara pills for me. Follow me. Little Martin gave a weird smile. With a flip of his claw, a darkish purple radiance coagulate in his claw. Indistinctly, the radiance then materialized into a darkish purple bone strip. There appeared to be some mysterious characters wiggling on the bone strip. As the Lin Dong took over the darkish purple bone script, his eyes glowed with happiness. He then took a sweeping glance and saw those wiggling characters coagulating gradually. Lesser Nirvana golden body, Lin Dong mumbled as he read the wiggling characters. Upon hearing Little Martin's words, Lin Dong was emotionally moved. The Nirvana body is the mark of the Nirvana stage elites. That kind of body is several times stronger than a manifestation stage elite's body. When facing an elite with Nirvana body, even an all-out attack from a peak manifestation stage elite would not do much damage. Lin Dong did not expect Little Martin's body transformation martial art could be powerful till such extent. This body transformation martial art was truly worthy of being a manifestation martial art. Of course, a large number of Nirvana pills is needed to master this body transformation martial art. After all, Nirvana Chi is the best energy to temper your physical body. The physical body can only transform after going through a cleansing by the Nirvana Chi. After Lin Dong heard these words, the first thought that came to his mind was a rich family that ate Nirvana pills for food. Don't feel sorry for the loss of Nirvana pills. When those half-step to Nirvana stage elites see that you possess a Nirvana stage elite's physical body even before you break through the Nirvana stage, they will be extremely envious. Little Martin curled his lips and consoled Lin Dong. If not for your loyalty, you will still be using the Great Sun Thunder body. Lin Dong chuckled at these words. Little Martin was right. Even though mastering the lesser Nirvana golden body would consume a large number of Nirvana pills, the benefits of mastering it would be numerous. These benefits would exceed the spent Nirvana pills. First, within these few days, you have to leave by yourself and look for a place where there is no one else. Then, you will unleash your devouring power to its maximum, and I will be by your side to assist you. I don't need you to practice it until the advanced level, but at least until the lesser level. This way, it should be able to help you to withstand the violent energy backlash when you're using the fifth finger of the Great Desolate Imprisoning Heavenly Finger, Little Martin explained. Okay. Lin Dong nodded his head as his eyes appeared to contain traces of fervor. It seemed that by promising Little Martin the samsara pills, it motivated it to take out a much more powerful martial art. Grandpa Martin is helping you by not giving you such a powerful body transformation martial art in the past. The training of the physical body is not something that you can pick up instantly. Forcing it to happen will just impair your foundation. Only through step-by-step training can your physical body become stronger. Little Martin snorted suddenly, as if he knew what Lin Dong was thinking. Lin Dong could only chuckle sheepishly. Then, he stood up and said, if this is the case, let's not waste any more time and leave now. The way Lin Dong did things is swift and decisive. As the thought came to his mind, he flew out of the tower and found Mo Ling and the rest without any hesitation. With regards to Lin Dong's temporary departure, Mo Ling and the other two were puzzled. However, they did not say much as they knew Lin Dong was not that kind of person who would abandon them and ran off by himself. After making things clear, Lin Dong jumped onto the back of Little Flame. As Little Flame flapped its wide wings, it flew across the sky with thunderous roar and ultimately disappeared into the horizon with a lightning speed. Apparently, Lin Dong had a huge curiosity and expectation about how much nirvana chi could the devouring ancestral symbol absorb between heaven and earth. At the same time, he wanted to know how powerful could the devouring power be if he pushed the devouring ancestral symbol to its maximum. This video will end here. Thank you for watching.